Today in Total War Warhammer 3, we are going to be ranking the Bretonnian factions from worst to best. Coming in at number 4 is Réponse de Léonesse. For faction effects, she increases control +3 in all provinces. She also has an upkeep -50% for embedded heroes, and melee defense +8 for questing knights. However, the diplomatic relations -80 with vampire counts, vampire coast, and tomb kings really makes her campaign a pain in the neck, especially when you look at where you start out. Since you're at war with vampire counts, you have Sartosa right above you, you have the followers of Nagash beneath you, and you have a lot of tomb kings to the side. It is an absolute mess. Then you have the Badlands nearby with savage orcs and of course Khorne and Queek. It's just not a very good campaign. For Réponse de Léonesse personally, she has some good things. In particularly with all of her bonuses from everything, she becomes an absolute beast in the battlefield. But it's only her that's an absolute beast in the battlefield, so although she is a relatively strong lord, her faction just is not strong and is in an absolutely terrible location. Coming at number 3 are the Bordelot Errants. He gets a recruitment rank +2 for Bretonnian knight units, local recruitment duration -1 for Bretonnian knight units, income from ports +50%, and he's immune to high seas, reef, and storm attrition for all armies. Plus his lord effects increase melee defense for peasant mobs, men-at-arms, and spearmen-at-arms units, and melee defense +10 for Knights of the Realm. In terms of starting location, you start out in Lustria, and you are at war with a minor Lizardmen faction. The increase to the ports is absolutely amazing, and at high levels is utterly ridiculous, bringing in 750 income per turn. And not to mention late game, you can recruit elite cav units very quickly. In terms of personal effects, he is really good. He can boost his commandment power. He can increase the amount of tradable resources produced faction-wide, as well as decrease the construction cost and time of resource-producing buildings. He can also reduce the construction cost and time for ports. And then he has some very basic ones of hit points +10% and passive abilities such as Hold the Line. Inside of his blue tree, he has Yield of the Sea, which increases trade tariffs and income from ports even more. And as a lord, he's powerful. As a faction, he's powerful. The only reason that he's not higher up on the list is his starting location and the fact that Bretonnia is really far away. But all in all, he's a pretty powerful lord, who can of course confederate with other Bretonnians in order to gain some territory inside of the main part of Bretonnia. Coming in at number 2 is Luan Leoncoeur. His faction effects are campaign movement range +10% for all armies, and leadership aura size +50% for lords when attacking. He also gets leadership and melee attack bonuses when fighting against warriors of chaos, chaos dwarves, demons of chaos, undead, and greenskin factions. He also starts with all of his knightly vows unlocked. In terms of starting location, you are not in a bad position. In terms of who is nearby, you are at war with Musolin, who will quickly fall to you, as well as a minor greenskin faction. You do have the Empire nearby, and the Empire really isn't that big of a problem for you early on, because you can get alliances inside the Empire, and then later on in the campaign, you can actually start taking a look at helping to clean up the Empire. There's only going to be 2 actual threats to you, which are Be'lakor and the weak Norskin faction that he's going to vassalize, and Grom the Paunch, because if he gets his wall going, he's going to be very difficult to stop. But beating Grom the Paunch isn't all that hard if you can beat him before the wall. And when it comes to Be'lakor, I like to just let him attack Crone and have a full army inside of it, crush his main force, counterattack, wipe out this tiny little island, and you're done. For skills, he's okay. He has Fount of Honor, Respect of All, which is a diplomatic relations increase, Carrion Calls, which decreases the construction cost and time for barracks, and Exemplary Conduct, which is chivalry +5 per turn, hero capacity +1 for paladins, and hero recruitment rank +2 for paladins, all provinces. So in short, you're in a decent location, just a couple of strong enemies, but once they go down, it's just helping your allies to mop up their lands and take back what is rightfully theirs. And of course, you can trade settlements for some pretty good alliances with the factions that you are helping. And coming at number 1 is the Fey Enchantress, and her faction effects and lord effects are not particularly great. Peasant economy +5 for peasants available to the faction, casualty replenishment rate +15%, but what makes the Fey Enchantress take number 1 is where she is located. Since she starts out at the bottom of Bretonnia, you do have Ikiclaw nearby, and he is your greatest threat, and basically he is your only threat. You do have Grom the Paunch above you. However, beating Grom the Paunch very quickly is entirely possible when playing as the Fey Enchantress, since you can beat him super early in the game. In terms of threats, you have Grom the Paunch, who, once again, he can be beaten easily, and you do have to worry about Musolin a little bit. You might have to worry about Slaanesh coming across, or Be'lakor coming down, but if you can defend your border, and you can have walls in all your coastal settlements, you're gonna do pretty good. Like I said, your main threat is going to be Ikiclaw when he comes up to attack you. In terms of technology, once you start getting bonuses with all the various factions, and you start to get diplomacy bonuses for the dwarves, or for the wood elves, you can make allies with pretty much everyone around you. And the Fey Enchantress is one of those campaigns where you're more likely to get bored because there's not enough for you to do, than ever feel overwhelmed because you are constantly surrounded by allies who are not going to be looking to destroy you, and all your enemies will have to attack coastal settlements, which hopefully will be very well defended. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Also, go check out my Discord server as well as my Patreon. Links to both those in the description below. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.